Won't you stop and take a little time out with me? Just take 5.
Yeah. So we're not even gonna go here because it's been a very sad day. Like it's been a very sad day for some Florida boys. What's up, Jill? What you been on, man?
Nothing much, man. Chilling, hanging out here. It's been hot. It got hot already in Miami, which is blowing me. But other than that, I'm good.
Man, I
What about
definitely
you?
did just get hot in Florida. Like trying to be outside, but can't be out there for too long for real.
Literally,
Jill, what'd you just get through eating, bro?
we went avocado sushi roll, shrimp tempura with a little cream cheese in the middle with an eel sauce on the side.
Where you get that from?
I don't even know what it was called. Seiko sushi, I believe so.
Seku?
Seiko, like Seiko. Seiko sushi. Shout out to them.
Shout out to Seco. All right. We got a few things to talk about, Julian, but first, I'm glad you're here, right? Because we do got to talk a little bit of football. Free agency has definitely been some madness, some madness and madness. We got a lot of different things going on. And I want to get some of your takes, on some of the things that have transpired. I'll try and add in some 2 cents here and there on what I've seen and what I know. But, I'm gonna just let it play out for the time being. I'm not even gonna get too deep into it, boss. I'll just go left to right to start with. We both Florida boys, right? So after 11 seasons with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Mike Evans, MK 13 or whatever they call him, right? Decided not to re-sign with the team and take his talents out to San Francisco to team up with Brock Purdy in the game. All right. So, Julian, general reactions about this move for Mike Evans, right? After being a long-term Buccaneer, and why do you think he made this move?
General reaction is definitely shock at first. I was a little confused because I thought he was gonna stay with the Bucks for his whole career, unless they traded him, which I didn't see to be likely. But other than shock, I mean, I assume he wanted to go win. The 49ers have a good team. They're gonna have capable playmakers around him with a McCaffrey, with the George Kittle after he comes back from injury, and then Pearsall, and obviously some of those other guys are leaving. Like Jawan Jennings is out for them; he's leaving. Brandon Ayuk's probably leaving, and Debo's already gone, right? And then we have a George Kittle who may be gone for half the season next year because he tore his Achilles. So he's going to have a lot of opportunity to get the ball, and we've seen what the 49ers do regardless of who's playing. They're going to be in a good position to win. So I get it from his side, but I am still surprised that he left. I thought he was a lifer with the Bucks. Glad he's out of my division though. So
I mean, for sure. But you've definitely heard Mike Evans on the podium before saying that he's going to finish his career as a Buccaneer, right? So of course, being in Tampa, a part of the community, so to speak, right? Definitely a lot of sadness, misunderstanding, and ultimately frustration with what's transpired here. Right now, Julian, I don't know that we've heard from Mike Evans directly as far as his rationale behind a decision like this. But as a football mind, you immediately went to or pointed to his chance to win being increased by being on a team like the 49ers, who undeniably, yeah, I mean, undeniably have more talent than the Buccaneers as it stands, right? On both sides of the ball.
yeah,
But do they not have a more difficult division competing with the Los Angeles Rams and the
Seahawks.
NFL champion Seattle Seahawks? Like, Is that not something that would have been taken into consideration, making a move like that?
I don't think so. Not for a wide receiver, unless he's going into a division that has all-star cornerbacks to where they were going to make his life hell for all of those divisional games. I don't think he cares. I mean,
Yeah,
the
defense was compared to the Legion of Boom.
I mean, for sure. But the 49ers still will compete regardless of who they're facing. We know they compete year in and year out. They won a playoff game this year with everyone out, much less, next year when hopefully we'll say 70% of those guys are healthy. Now they're competing for a championship, or at least they see themselves as a team who could compete for a championship. So I understand it from his perspective. You don't expect the Bucks necessarily next year to be competing for a championship, right? I mean, you're there, you're in the building. Like, is that an expectation? Like,
I mean, but again, we're talking division to division. So
for
would
sure.
it be? So, I mean, would it be something outlandish to win the division with the Panthers, Saints, and Falcons, who
No,
don't have a quarterback, mind you? Like, would that be something outlandish, and then to go on and win one extra game of football? Like, is that something that's preposterous? Like,
it's not preposterous, but the other teams in the division are rising. I mean, maybe not Falcons so much just because this offseason went about as bad as it could have, in my opinion. Like, you know how I feel about some of this. But okay. Anyways, the Panthers are, supposed to get better. And they went to the playoffs last year and actually almost won their playoff game, as well as the Saints. They think they found their quarterback. So all the teams in the division feel like they can compete for it at least. Even Falcons, we tied for the division. We tied for first place in the division this year with it was a shit show. I don't know how to. I'm not gonna mince my words. I don't know what it was at the end of the season this year or at the middle of the season this year with the Falcons, but we still finished tied for first place. So I mean, there is talent in the division, so I get it. I would rather go play for Kyle Shanahan and company than try to run it back with the Bucks, especially Godwin is aging. Um, is he gone? Is he going to be gone?
nah, Godwin's on contract. Nah,
Okay,
he's here to
yeah,
stay.
Godwin's aging. He may not be rocking with the Zach Robinson offense. Like we saw what that looked like in Atlanta. So, there's a lot of factors that go into a decision like this. But I feel like they obviously paid him a lot of money. Like, he got a good deal, and he can go win.
Now, a couple more things just on this topic that I'll let you speak on the Falcons, but uh, you mentioned the money again. Like this is a wide receiver, 1,000 yards each year for
Right.
11 years, right? So
Mhm.
he has his bread, right? In addition to what he has a home out here. You know what I mean? Like I could speak, being a part of the community, he's like a god out here, right? I mean, he walks around, everybody wants his autograph picture, that sort of thing. Like, in San Fran, he's just another guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got rappers out there that, have more of a bigger name than a Mike Evans. So he's just the guy. So it's just like, you're not only just making a move because of football, Julian, you're also making a move with your family, uprooting what they've built out here and going as far as from Tampa as possible, right? So even with that being said, like you still believe, there couldn't be any other factors that push Mike Evans to do this.
I mean, I also assume that the not the Panthers, the Buccaneers didn't want to match that money. I think that's what I think. I think that's what it came down to. I assume he wanted to be back. That would be
Mm.
surprising if he didn't, but he got a good deal. He got what, three for something, 3 years,
I'd have to look, but as
like
far
50,
as I understood, the
60.
Buccaneers actually could have paid that money, but
No, they could have. I'm saying they declined to do so.
I see. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
mean,
don't think it
it's
was we
all
don't have the money.
possibility.
I don't think it
You
was
know,
a we don't have the money thing. It was we're not gonna match this for a 33-year-old receiver who has had some injury problems recently.
Mm.
Especially when you just drafted. You got to think they just drafted Enigbuka. They just drafted McMillan.
Uh-huh.
So and Johnson is on that team too, right?
Tez Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah. So you just drafted all those guys, and they proved to be productive this year. Are you gonna go out and pay Mike Evans 30 million? He got 3 years, 60 million, which I don't know how much is guaranteed of that. Probably only 1 year, honestly. But he probably got like 1 year, 20. He got 16 million in guaranteed this year. So I don't know. It's basically like a 1 year 16, I think, with room to get more money, but it's 3 years 60. So I don't think that y'all wanted to pay him 16 million this year, especially with those other dudes on the team.
Very interesting. Nah, it's good to hear from an unbiased, somebody that's out of the actual, uh, it's good to hear these takes. But Julian, so the Atlanta Falcons, though, you know what I mean. Naturally, I'm thinking about the moves that they made, but first thing that comes to mind is bring in Tua Tagovailoa, and then claiming that it's going to be a battle for who gets that QB1 spot in 2026. Like, when you hear that, right? You said this is one of the most disappointing offseason you've seen. Like, well, what has disappointed you about this move? Do we not need a quarterback?
No, we do. I'm not mad that we got an insurance plan at quarterback. It's more, you know how I feel about Tua. I mean, I've been on the Tua train, Tua anti-Tua train for how many years? I mean, it's been probably the year he got drafted. I would say I just don't see it. I don't think he's going to be a really good pro. I mean, he's not horrible. He could be a capable quarterback, but I just didn't think that was the answer that the city or franchise needed right now. I get it, I guess, if they wanted to like keep the continuity of having a left-handed quarterback throughout the offseason and then going into the regular season. I understand all those things, but it's just not exciting. It's not exciting at all. It doesn't move the needle for me. I don't think it moves the needle for the Falcons.
I have two questions. Would you have rather had Kyler Murray?
Yes, for sure. I don't think he wanted to come, but yeah, I think I would have, or not even. I think I would have absolutely rather had Kyler Murray.
And is Tua better than Michael Penix?
I don't know. That's really hard, Mike,
Why is that hard for you? Like, what makes it hard?
Can Mike be better than Tua? Absolutely. Mike has a lot more arm. Mike can. It's hard to say arm talent because what goes into arm talent? Mike has a way stronger arm than Tua. He can make all the throws. There's physical limitations that Tua has that limit him from, being able to make those same throws. Right?
What are these physical limitations that you speak of exactly?
He has a noodle arm, bro. He has a noodle arm, and he's not athletic. So it really makes it tough. The Dolphins was a pretty bad situation for him at times because their offensive line was unstable. So to have a non-athletic noodle arm quarterback behind an unstable offensive line is probably a bad recipe for success. But they brought in a coach that was meant to be the Tua whisperer. He designed the system to fit Tua so beautifully. Get the ball out immediately. It's perfectly tailored for a guy like Tua, and it still failed. He flopped. So I'm not excited about it. I'm not mad that they did it necessarily. I'm not anymore. I was mad when I saw it at first. But to get him for $1 million, like, all right, bro. Like, you obviously will give Mike, if it's me, I will give Mike Penix every opportunity to start. It's not a fair quarterback battle that we're having. We need to see what we have with Penix. And if he doesn't play well, then you have a guy in Tua who can come in and
yeah, I know that sounds nice to you, bro, but Tua's not taking the job if they didn't tell him something. Like,
Nah, I don't think so though. Because I feel like Tua didn't have any leverage. Where is Tua gonna go play?
There are many teams that could use a Tua, like
to start though.
To start, absolutely.
Name
There are
them.
many teams that could do. There are many teams that could use a Tua. Like,
I don't think so. Name them.
I mean, the Cardinals are one of them. Like,
They could, but
there are
like, did
many
he want to go
teams
there?
that. I mean, like you said, leverage. Like, you're just trying to get a job. You know what I mean? There are many
He
teams
is.
that could use a Tua.
He is, but I feel like even for Tua, he thought Atlanta was the best place for him to have an opportunity to revive his career. Right? You're gonna be in an offense
Bingo.
behind a
Behind.
Stefanski.
Oh, my bad.
Nah,
Go
I'm
ahead.
saying you're gonna be in
Go
an offense
ahead.
with Stefanski. You got to think what's here. If the Falcons had stable quarterback play, we would run the division every year. It's been the story of the Falcons for 5 years,
6.
maybe. Yeah, like it's been crazy. So you have to think what's there. Bijan is the best running back in football, in my opinion. I don't even think it's that close. Drake London is dominant. He's really a monster. Super wide receiver 1. You've got Kyle Pitts there, who had a top 3 tight end season last year. You have a good offensive line. Like, there is reasons to want to go play quarterback in Atlanta. Stefanski is he a GOAT coach? No, but he's been the coach of the year on the Browns. That's not an easy feat to accomplish. It's the Browns. So if you're Tua, it's an attractive destination to you, way more attractive than the Cardinals. Why would you go to the Cardinals? There's really nothing there for you. Are you even gonna beat out a Jacoby Brissett who played well?
No, let's not be ridiculous though. Like,
Is he though?
let's not
I'm
be.
being real. Jacoby Brissett played well.
Tua struggled, right? We're not gonna just sit here and try him. Like, we're not gonna sit here and try him.
Wait. That's not a try though. That's not a try. If you have a injured Mike Penix, right? Michael Penix was coming off his 3rd or 4th ACL tear, right?
Okay.
So you have a third. I think a 3rd. He's coming off his 3rd ACL tear. So you've got post 3rd ACL tear Mike Penix versus Jacoby Brissett, who played well last year, and you can go play with possibly Bijan, Drake London, and Pitts, plus whoever gets drafted. You know where you're going. You're not going to.
The first part is irrelevant. Like, you go because yes, they do have the offensive talent, and we don't know if Mike Penix will play. Like, this Brissett nonsense. Like,
Jacoby Brissett was hooping. Jacoby Brissett was hooping though. That's why Kyler is gone.
That's fine. That's fine. But check the resume. Like, what are we doing?
I don't know. I don't know.
What are you doing? I don't get it.
I understand Tua had a good year. Tua had a okay year once, and it was cool, but it was not moving. It didn't move me. I was telling y'all that in the moment,
bro. What a good year or what? It's crazy. But all right, Drew. I'll let you talk about the Falcons. We'll see what other moves are being made. But I want to talk about this Max Crosby nonsense. Like, it's just been an interesting week for sports, really. Yeah, so, you could jump in, pause on. To my understanding, a deal was made between the Raiders and the Ravens to send Max Crosby over there, right? However, upon medical examination, they further determined that he was unfit to complete that physical, right? So they sent him back. I have, a couple questions, but first and foremost, Drew, what's wrong with Max Crosby? Like, they won't tell us.
I have no clue. I assume whatever he got shut down for last year, but it seemed like he could have played. Like, it seemed like they told him to go home because they were tanking. And he was pissed about it too. Like, he wanted to play. So I don't know what could possibly be so wrong that he failed a physical, but whatever it is, hopefully it gets cleared up soon. It sucks for the Ravens because I think that they really needed him. I think they needed a game record on
Lamar
defense.
has everything. But
Lamar has what does Lamar have right now?
Wait, hold on.
I'm gonna get into it.
Talk about Lamar. No, we're not talking about Lamar. Hold on. I have another question before we get into all that. Do you remember the video of Max Crosby smoking a cigar like a cigarette? Like,
I do. He ghosted the cigar.
Yeah, like he ghosted the cigar. Like, do you think his lungs are charred and he can't go without asthmatic
Honestly, I'm not
attached.
gonna lie. There definitely are some residual effects of doing that. So like, that's not okay to do. So I
Right.
probably
I mean, that's a possibility. I was listening to It Is What It Is. Like that's my favorite podcast. I mean, they said that and again, we try to keep it cool on the pod, but they said the last time they seen something like this, it was a Magic Johnson like situation. So, like, do you think, like, I mean, the unidentified medical like concerns, like, I mean, if it was something we should know, like, wouldn't they just come out with it? Like, oh, he's got a bad knee. Oh, uh,
I I have no clue. I don't think
uh,
he. I don't think he has AIDS. I'll say that.
uh,
I don't think he got AIDS or HIV.
I mean,
But I don't know what's wrong
like,
with that man.
I
I don't
mean,
know.
this is the last thing I'll allude to, like the Kristaps Porzingis disease,
That's throw.
right?
That's throw.
Like, I mean, they kind of came out with a few things that it was or could be, like, but you don't really know. So I guess, like, is that as
Kristaps is way
simple?
more likely. Kristaps may actually have it, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
But why do you say this? Like, what's the difference between a Kristaps and a Max Crosby?
Bro,
Like,
Kristaps sits out probably 75% of his games. So something is like something is really wrong with that dude. They won't tell. It didn't say illness. I feel like it's gonna come out what's wrong with Max Crosby. I think it's gonna come out soon, honestly. I do.
this is a strange situation. But
That it
okay,
is.
let's get
That
back
it
into
is.
it. Why does I mean, why do you think this would be a good pickup for the Ravens in particular? Of course, a lot of teams want him because of his, uh, his play, but like, why the Ravens in particular for
I
you?
mean, they desperately need someone to be dominant on defense again. When the Ravens were at their peak, I guess, I mean, Roquan was dominant, I'll say. And then you had a lot of really good guys around him, right? A lot of really, really, really good guys like Michael Pierce and all those guys who are now they're old and gone. But man, the Ravens, I tried. I disrespected. Kyle Hamilton is dominant, but he plays in the secondary. It's a little different. Ravens last year had no pass rush, which is it's really hard to win football games with no pass rush. To get a Max Crosby, he's wrecking games. 100%. It's like Miles Garrett. He's in the same combo with them. Miles Garrett, Micah Parsons, Crosby. I don't even know. I can't even think of more off top. TJ Watts, those dudes. That caliber of player. He's with them. So to get him would be that changes your whole defense. That changes how teams approach you in terms of game planning. So to have this be rescinded is really rough. And the worst part about it to me is I think that the Ravens didn't resign their center, who was probably the best center in football. Tyler Linderbaum, they let him go to the Raiders, right? Raiders got him. I
No,
don't think Ravens re-signed their center because they couldn't pay him that money and then also have Max Crosby's contract as well, with Lamar's and Kyle Hamilton's and all those. So they've now lost Max Crosby, who is game wrecker, and they let go of their center. And the Ravens offensive line it's been okay in the last few years. Like it was good 1 year for sure. But last year it wasn't that good. And they lost, I think, 3 starters. So I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I really don't. It's disappointing to see because Lamar is on the clock. He's getting older. This is year 8, I think. He's got to do something, right? And you need guys to surround him with in order for him to do something. And it's just like he's my favorite player outside of Falcons players. And it's very frustrating to see a team run their organization like this. The Max Crosby thing's nigrified. That's a good swing, and you happen to miss because of physical issues, whatever. But I mean, you don't bring back the center. He doesn't have a wide receiver one, in my opinion. Zay Flowers is good, but he's not a one.
be trying.
That's not a try. He's good. He's really good. He's not a receiver one. He's 5'7", bro. It's hard. That's hard to be a receiver one at 5'7" in the NFL. Then They re-signed Mark Andrews, who is a postseason terrorist. Mark Andrews literally has a vendetta against Lamar and the Ravens in the playoffs. We've seen it for many years. They re-signed him for like 3 years, and Mark Andrews is over 30, and they let Likely walk when Likely plays his behind off when he gets in. So I just don't get what they're doing at the front office level to support having a MVP level quarterback. I don't understand it, and it's disappointing because I think the same thing's going to happen that always does. He's going to fail in the playoffs because he's going to try to be Superman, and he shouldn't necessarily have to do that.
I'd take 5-5, man. So that's a good little football discussion. Free agency, definitely very entertaining. Drew, there's been a lot of different moves that we didn't even cover here, but I
They did
definitely
get
wanted to hit.
they did get Trey Henderson though today, so they did get another star pass rusher, which was a good pickup for them. It's kind of like a second fiddle pickup for them. But the only thing is he's also older and coming off an injury. So it's tough. I don't think he's as good as Max Crosby, but he could, when he 2 years ago he led the league in sacks. So, we'll see.
Definitely still a plus. So
Yeah, good pick. It was a good pick.
It was a good pickup. I'd say 5. You want to go or you want me to get on my rant? All right.
You'll go.
Miami Heat star Bam Adebayo on Tuesday, March 10th of the National Basketball Association's regular season logged the second most points ever by an NBA player in a single game with 83 points. 83 points. Just for contextual details, so we know what's going on here, right? Bam Adebayo became the first ever player to score 70 while shooting under 50% on field goals. He attempted 43 free throws and made 36, both the most ever. He played 42 minutes, and what we'll get into just a little bit is his team intentionally fouled at the end of the game to prolong a 30-point blowout. I'll try and make this quick just for clip purposes. This is a complete mockery of the game that I grew up to love. Basketball is my favorite sport. I played as a young kid all throughout high school, and I continue to watch through this day. And I have seen changes in my short lifetime alone from when I began to fall in love with the game with the Kevin Garnetts, the Tim Duncans, the Kobe Bryants, the Dwight Howards, those guys playing, to now this. It's Adam Silver's league. This is what you can do in Adam Silver's league. We have a Bam Adebayo, who I want to be perfectly clear. This is no disrespect to Bam, but he is not a scorer. We can all say that in good faith without hating. We can all say that. He's averaged 20 points a game one time in his career. One time. Right? He's averaging 18 points this year. And he gets 83 because you allow him to go to the line for 45 attempts. 45 attempts. Teams don't even get 45 attempts. I went to Twitter just to see what the discourse would be about. They're telling me, oh, but he was fouled the majority of the time. Oh, This is disgusting. You should not be able to send one player to the line for 45 attempts. Now, again, this is not Bam Adebayo's fault. Let me tell you where the fault lies. This is a systemic issue with the NBA as it is today. The Washington Wizards are a tanking team. They do not want to win. They are actively trying to lose, right? Which is actually against the rules, but they are actively trying to lose. We all know it. We all see it on a night-to-night basis. Okay? So I watched them allow Bam Adebayo to go for 30 points in the first quarter. I'm not saying Bam isn't a good player, but damn. 30 points in the first quarter. So now I'm getting notifications and everything about what's going on. I'm like, okay, it's the Wizards. You know, he's probably going to have a good scoring night, whatever, right? But it's a tanking team. So now you've got 60 at halftime, right? So now we're in record-breaking territory. You've got 70 after 3. I look at the box score. They pull their starting center and Alex Sarr out of the basketball game for the fourth quarter. He's being guarded by small forwards, shooting guards, and European point guards. They're not trying to win, but they're actually letting him have his way, right? All of this fouling because they cannot guard a 6'8" center. It's absolutely ridiculous. We should not be able to condone this as a league. And then we flip the blame to the Miami Heat. You keep this guy in a 20, 25-point blowout just to break a record? Is that Heat culture? Like, is this what? Are we jacking this for it? You not only keep him in the game, but at the end of the game, you intentionally foul to prolong the game so you get more possessions for this guy to keep chucking up threes and flailing to get to the line. You miss free throws at the end of the game so you can get more possessions to send this man to the line. I get we want to have fun. It's great. Yeah, la, la, la. This isn't basketball anymore. This is the Harlem Globetrotters. We're just trying to do stuff at this point. It's unwatchable. I love the NBA, Julian. Like, I'm a league pass advocate. It's unwatchable at this point if this is the product that we're going to put out on the hardwood. I ain't got nothing left. Go ahead, man.
I mean, it's a tough one because I understand why they left him in. Like he did have 70 through did he have 70? I think that's 70
through 3.
Yeah, through 3. So he was on pace to break Kobe's record, right? And I get why you would let him go for that. It was more for me just the way that they went about doing it, right? You could leave him in and let him try to get his stuff off and get buckets, but the points you were making are funny because it was truly the least ethical hoops I have ever seen in my life. I mean, the missing free throws, even he was trying to force shots. Like I remember he was getting triple teams. He did a spin move. They called an offensive foul. Spoelstra challenged the call. Noah Gill's offensive foul. I mean, they're doing anything they could to give him the ball, bro. And then, yeah, the missing the free throws and committing intentional fouls on defense, it was egregious. It was egregious. So, I mean, we're going to remember this at the end of the day. We are going to remember it. It was an 83-point outing, and it will go down in history. And he will literally go down as the best scoring game in the modern era. That's just how it's going to go down. If you watched it, would you agree? Probably not. But the facts are the facts, you know. So it is what it is. I don't know.
Now, Julian, you know, of course, we're in Florida, right? So I know a lot of Miami Heat fans, and they, you know, I'm not they, honestly, but one guy kept asking me why did this frustrate me so much? Why can't I just be happy about the performance? Why can't I just, you know, take it for what it was, Pause? Why? Right? Of course, naturally, Kobe Bryant is my favorite basketball player of all time. God rest his dead.
Might as
Right?
well.
So records are all meant to be broken. We understand that, right? But for me, it's just again about the way that this happened. If it were a situation where like we watched one that there's a couple I can remember, but I remember years and years ago, Devin Booker went for 70. These were buckets. Like, this man was on an incredible heater, incredible shooting display to where it's like, this is just one of those games. It wasn't like that Phoenix Suns at the time were competing for, a championship or anything like that. But this dude, he was putting it all out on the floor, pause. Like, he was doing everything that he could in order to elevate his team to just get that one win because that's all that mattered at the time. That's not what this is, Julian. We're talking about, again, this is a complete blowout against a team that doesn't care about basketball at all, like, who actually are making a mockery of the game by lacing up their shoes. I question some of those guys as men, to be honest, right? And that's really a strong thing to say, but I really do. Like, if you have any pride for yourself as a basketball player and you allow this to happen, like, I don't really know if this is for you. But all I'm
It's
saying is
Stroh.
that
It's Stroh. I mean, as a go finish.
it's
Finish your
bad.
point.
No, I'm just saying, like, Devin Booker for that example, though. Like, again, like, these are real life buckets. It's not, I'm at the line 45 times, like, and I'm going to get that. Like, he started off hot. Like, I don't disagree that Bam got 60. Like, I feel like he did. But the
No, he
rest of
did.
that, man, it's just like,
No. It
but
sucks. It sucks because the way that it ended will sour a all-time performance for a lot of people, right?
facts.
So, like Bam had a great game. He was hooping out of his mind.
Very much so.
30 in the first quarter is crazy regardless of who you're playing, whatever. Bam was hooping.
Yeah.
But just the way that it ended, for some people won't care, and others will look at it and just think there's a huge asterisk on doing all of that to get this record. So it sucks that, like, I don't know, there's just two completely, I think there are polar opposite views of what transpired last night, and it's a historical moment. So
Facts.
I just like you, like, Kobe is my
But
favorite player too, and to see his record get broken like that, it doesn't make me view Kobe in a different way, which a lot of people are trying to push. Like, they're like, oh, like, that was the only thing Kobe had. Like,
yeah.
I don't care. Like, I saw Kobe hoop for his whole career. Like, he was a monster, like, he was like that, right? I know what I know. But to see his record get broken like that does suck. I would rather, not that it happened, it's more the way that it happened, like
The way that it happened.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But Joe, this is the last thing I'll say about this, but you can tell me if you agree with this take. If Bam got because mind you, I watched a little bit of the end of the third until the fourth, because again, this is a non-televised game. It's the Heat versus the Wizards for crying out loud.
Yeah.
If Bam put up 65 and they just pulled him, I think the entire basketball community, the old heads that watch Kobe play, everybody would respect this performance much
100%.
more. Right?
Yeah,
we wouldn't have nearly the amount of discourse and whatever about it. It would be historic. We'd be praising Bam, like, yo, man, and stuff. Like, it's like you said, simply the ending of this game completely just watched it for me. Like, and again, I blame Adam Silver and the league he's created. Eric Spoelstra, I lost a little respect for you as well, bro. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, you one of my favorite coaches all time. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I need to hear from Pat Riley as well, because I know he's not jacking this. He's somewhere rolling around. Like, he's got to be. I blame all them cats, bro. But that's my take. That's it.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know. It was bad ball at the end, which sucks because it was a great night. It really was. He really was hooping.
Yeah, like,
So, we shouldn't even have to. There should be no way that we can come on and have any problems with what just happened last night if they just handled it normally. You know, he could have hit a 65, 70. He could have hit if he hit 80 the right way. If he hit 90 the right way, I wouldn't care. Like, it was
That's what I'm saying.
it just how it looked at the end made it just it did sour it. I really don't care that much. Like honestly, you know, me, I've given not necessarily to say I've given up on the NBA, but I know I don't put a lot of stock in the NBA regular season, regardless, especially in the modern day, just because I know how some of these guys are approaching it on a night to night, you know, like on a daily basis. So I don't really care, but
it's so unfortunate though, Julian, because you've always said this, right?
I have.
And then me, you know, a guy that loves the regular season, then you give me this as a product. Who am I to disagree with you now? Like, what leg do I have to stand on at this point, Julian?
Literally none.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do
I got a pig leg?
I'm mad enough to admit, like, I clearly was wrong. I mean, it's not the league I do.
What did your dad say? Did you talk to your dad?
I did talk to my dad today, actually. Yeah, he was equally as disgusted about the fiasco that transpired. He didn't even tune in. Like, he got the notifications. I was texting him too. He didn't even tune into that circus show. Like, I mean, he calls it unwatchable at this point. Like, you know, he's, you know, of course, older or whatever, but like, we're still young men. Like, we've seen good hoops before, you know what I'm saying? Like, we've seen prime Kobe play, like,
oh, for sure,
LeBron James and all of them guys, Dirk, like Tim Duncan, like we've seen these guys come through. It was never like this.
Bruh. One other thing, it also sucks. I'm not gonna lie. I like Bam a lot. I live in Miami. I've been here for some years now. It sucks that it was Bam to do it. Not for me. I don't care. Like, not from a salty sense, but for the league, right?
Yeah.
Like, it would have been way cooler. No, this is no hate for real. It would have just been way cooler had it been a Steph Curry or a KD or even LeBron. Like, that would be so cool to see one of them go for 80. Like, honestly, if one of them did it, I don't think that it would get the same reaction that Bam got, if you give me.
Maybe not. We still
I don't think so. Even if it was bad. Yeah, even if it was unethical hoops or Shea, even. If Shea did it, and we say Shea's unethical hoops. We say this all the time. Even if he did it, it would just be cooler. Like, for Bam to get it, like you say, he doesn't even really get 30. Like,
but that just adds to the comedy. Like, I don't even know how to describe it though, bro. Like, again, Bam is not a scorer. Man averages 18 a night. Like, they talk about this, like, if you would have had to pull 10 names, 15 names at the beginning of the year and say, okay, one of these guys is gonna get 80, stake your life on 15.
It. Way more than 15 days.
Probably like
there are literally 15 guards.
Nah, they said like Cam Thomas, like we say, oh yeah, like he probably go get 80 before Bam does. Like, so.
I would never expect Bam to get 50. That's why I was late. I'm not gonna lie. I saw it in the first quarter. I was laying in my bed, and actually, we have that fantasy basketball league, or you don't play.
Yeah,
it's the end of the league, and Bam's on my team. So I got an alert, and I'm like 35 in the first quarter. So I started to watch. So I was lit for Bam, and then it just, like I said, it just started to go down.
Then it got weird.
It did. At the end, it did get very, very hot. So
it just gets weird, bro. But like,
shout out to Bam.
I mean, I don't know though, Drew, because it's really just the way that it happened at the end. Because Bam is one of those guys. Nobody has any ill will towards Bam. You know what I mean?
Like,
we don't.
Cool.
Like,
Bam's a great player too.
Yeah,
Bam's a great player. Yeah,
nah, he's great. Plays both sides of the ball. But
Yeah,
like
Bam is
we
great.
had some ill will towards Shea, like with the unethical hoops. There's some ill will towards Luca with the not playing defense or whatever. Like there's some other guys that it's just like we hate on, but
Their PR is bad, bro. They have bad PR.
I
Like
mean,
Bam doesn't
yeah,
have bad
like
PR.
he doesn't do much. Like
Yeah,
these most notable thing he's done is date Angel Wilson. Like I'm sorry, like
fair enough.
that's about it. But anywho, just a weird night. They said that, I mean, there's a tweet that says, "Yeah, we've officially entered the dark times of the NBA, the dark ages." It's gonna get sad though. Like again, Steph retires, KD retires. Bron out of there, and
I
this is the league we're left with, bro. Like it's just not. It's gonna be interesting.
I just want to ask you,
I don't know.
where do things go from here? Because if they allowed this to happen, right? Not to say this is
Hmm.
easily replicated. It's not. He was on a
Not at
hit,
all.
right? But let's say a guy does catch fire, right? A guy is in a similar situation. He catches fire in the first half. He has 40, 45, or 50, right?
Uh-huh.
Do you think that other teams are going to handle it similarly now after seeing this? Do you think that this is going to occur again?
That's a good question, Joe. But my whole thing is that when you see something like this, we've clearly lost the integrity of the game. Like there used to be the unspoken rule, like if you're up by multiple possessions, you've got the ball, there's seconds remaining, you're supposed to just dribble it out and take the victory. Because I mean, of course, the only object of the game of basketball is to win the game of basketball, right?
Yeah.
But now when you see not only the play-in tournament where the amount of points, the point differential counts, so that rules out the door. But when you see a team like the Miami Heat, whose reputation is this Heat culture, it's this, we're going to play the right way, we're going to move the ball around, you know what I mean? And this is what you do. We've
It's tough.
officially lost the plot. So to answer your question, I think they're just going to continue to score. Like this leave me in the game for the accolade, for the recognition, for the Twitter clicks, like in the shoe deal. Like I think that's where we're at now.
You think
Uh,
somebody's going to break this now within the next, let's give it 5 years?
I mean, but that's where the hate on Bam stems from. Like, so if Bam could do it,
That's what I'm saying.
like, yeah, like there's a bunch of other guys that, like, I know a few guys that could go out there, and I've seen them get 50 themselves. So it's just like, if they could get 50, if we're just gonna have teams running out there that belong in the G League and don't care about their manhood, like they could get 82. Like, why not?
I'm
Like, there
interested to
was
see.
I think maybe 2 years ago, I remember a stretch we had talked about it. It was like Luca scored 70 on the Hawks. We had like Joel Embiid went for like 65, something like that.
Yeah, he did.
Donovan Mitchell went for 70. This was all in the span of like 2 months or something like that. So I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, like it definitely can get broken. I mean, I just hope it doesn't look like this. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say.
Fair enough. Fair
Bad
enough.
take five, bro. Let's go ahead and wrap this up with ethical hoops. We'll call it.
This is much more ethical hoops. I'm not gonna lie.
This
I'm
is much
excited for
more
this.
ethical hoops. Yeah, I'm more excited for this than anything that's gonna happen with the NBA anytime soon. March Madness next week, right? The time is now. You already know what we do here at Take Five, right? So be on the lookout for that bracket challenge, right? We're gonna get some brackets going. Julian's gonna make a mockery of himself again, right? And then we gonna really see, who has the most ball knowledge. But Julian, it's just you and I, right? It's just the two of us right now. Okay. So why don't you go ahead and tell the viewers how, in your opinion, right, to make a good bracket, right? get you in that league with your friends, right? What are some key things you want to be looking at when you're picking some teams to make it far in the dance?
Um, I mean, one thing definitely is how they fared against top teams. I'll say, like, there are stats that you can look at to see how they fared against the top, let's say 35 or top 40 in the net rankings. That's definitely a good tool to use. Um, I mean, to see how they played recently also is really big to see how they ended or kind of how they're trending. Because March Madness is more about who can get hot at the right time than who really is the best necessarily. So, and matchups as well. So you want to
Mm.
see. I think a lot of it also is the last thing I said is very matchup based. You want to go and look at your bracket and dive into those matchups deeply, right? Like you have to see, like, okay, for example, I'll use my team, Miami. Miami is a team who cannot shoot the three, Miami, Florida. We cannot shoot the three this year, and we are very limited offensively and defensively. We're okay. We have I'll say the tip of the spear is our point guard, who's a very good player, and our postman. He's really, really good. Malik Reneau. He's first team All ACC. When we go against guys who are very big, we struggle because we can't push them around. Our team is very physical and scrappy. When we go versus the smaller finesse teams who may be better, we a lot of times tend to push them around and we end up winning those games, right? So it's just all about matchups in March Madness. So I would say look at the teams, look at the rosters. Hopefully you've been able to catch a few games of the good teams, so you have a little bit to stand on, a little bit of knowledge to stand on. If not, though, just try to dive into those matchups, I'll say.
I'm gonna keep it like this, right? So, all right. So now that was a lot of alphabet soup for no reason. So let me just let you know exactly what you want to do. All right, foolproof. All right. This is how you go ahead and defeat your competition. You pick some long-standing teams, right?
Not for Mo.
There are three things that you want to look at. There are three things that you want to look at. Hold on just 1 second.
You see how he left you.
Let me mute it.
The boy had to check his notes. He already knows. And Bracket be struggling. I'm about to do a solo shot. What do I want to talk about? World Baseball Classic. We should talk about it.
No, we shouldn't. Anywho, three things that I'll let y'all go. All right, three things you want to look at: 3-point attempts, 3-point percentage, and do they have a dominant big? In that order: 3-point attempts, 3-point percentage, and do they have a dominant big? Okay, in that order, right? So that's how you're going to navigate the who's who. Shooting will travel, right? But you always want to rely on somebody that you can dump it down into the post, right? You want to rely on somebody who's going to get that rebound, those extra possessions for you, right? And get easy buckets at the basket, and you'll be all set. That's how I've done it to them every time.
The interesting thing, though, is there's not many dominant bigs this year. There's a lot
It's
more.
true.
The league, or not the league, but the country is very guard driven this year. I mean, there are so many dynamic guards, especially young guards.
This
It's
is
really
true.
an insane year. I'm excited to see how this plays out because the talent is so well spread. Now we're gonna get some great matchups. We're gonna get some future NBA matchups earlier in the tournament. Some of these guys are gonna be starting guards in the NBA, and they're gonna see each other second round because there's so many teams. So I'm excited for this tournament.
Nah, it's definitely gonna get major, and because of that, Julian, we're gonna see a lot of pro buckets. You know what I mean? Like we
We
like the
will
post action, we like the ethical. We're gonna have to actually see some big time shots, some big time plays being made. So
definitely.
nah, I'm definitely excited. I haven't tuned in as much as I'd like to, but I'm just glad to see some competitive basketball. That's all I want to say about it. Competitive basketball, right?
The conference tournaments are already starting up too, so I would say
I've
to
seen.
everyone definitely tap in. Like I don't know about tonight if there's any more, But tomorrow for sure there are some quality teams playing ACC tournaments tomorrow, and I think the Big Ten and SEC are starting within the end of this week. So
Hmm.
it'll be it's gonna be lit.
It's gonna be interesting. Never sleep on SEC hoops. But with that being said, though, Drew, I do have to run, so let's go ahead and finish this up. But I'd say five. Make sure y'all follow us on all platforms: YouTube, Twitch, X, all of that. Wednesday, 7 p.m. We'll get the boys in here next week. We out. Very solid. Appreciate it.